Welcome, movie fanatics, movie collectors, fellow YouTube citizens, and everybody else that's joining me on my channel today. I'm finally back without a hat. You can see I'm balding. So let's get on with this. I'm going to try to make a serious intro there, but I've got some TV sets I've been collecting. TV's like a big part of my collection. I've collected TV sets since the very beginning, and I really enjoy old TV and new TV alike. I don't know. I haven't been watching a lot of TV. I just find a lot of the streaming stuff there's some good things and there's some bad things, and there's things I should watch, and it's just, I don't know. It seems like after we got past like Breaking Bad and some of those like really good shows that there's shows here and there. I know like Tulsa King's supposed to be pretty good, and a few other things, but I'll check out this or that. But it's, for the most part, I collect a lot of stuff on DVD, and I go back and rewatch old shows and things from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and I really enjoy finding old series from the 60s and 50s and 60s, really. But let's get into this. These are some of the new sets that I've picked up here recently. Not a lot of real old stuff. I guess we'll start out with something actually that's pretty old and wasn't necessarily a television. Now, kids of my age, we would watch The Little Rascals on TV, but really they were theatrical shorts that would come on before the feature presentation. Like back in the day, when you went to the movie theater, you went to the movie theater for almost like an all-day experience. You would see movie reels, news reels, and you would have usually multiple shorts, maybe a cartoon short like Bugs Bunny, or a Little Rascal short, or maybe both at the same theatrical showing. Then you had your feature presentation, and maybe sometimes you had a B movie and a feature presentation. But back in the day, people went to the movie theater for more or less an all-day experience. It was at multiple hours at least. It wasn't just you go see a movie and then you go home. You would go and stay for a while and see several things. You had a lot of entertainment. And I wish we still had that in a way. I wish we still had, I guess you go now, you have the Maria Menounos stuff and all that crap at your theater where, you do have some pre-movie entertainment, but it's not shorts and not serials. Back in the day, they also had serials and things like that. Well, once again, I went on too long without getting into the meat and potatoes of the video, but this is what I was talking about. This is the Little Rascals Centennial Edition. This came out a while back. I didn't hear a lot of people talking about it. I do have I should have pulled this for the video. I didn't. I do have a collection I bought at Costco, which I bought at Costco probably, 10 years ago as a DVD set, and I'm pretty sure it's pretty much the same set. But whenever something like this gets offered in, DVD like that, or gets re-offered in Blu-ray, especially something like this is something that I will revisit in Blu-ray. And I have to say the restoration is really good. But this is from 1929 to 38, The Little Rascals. I think this is technically Our Gang. This is the Our Gang comics shorts. I'm not sure if the newer Little Rascals stuff, there was some Little Rascals that came along after. I think it was after Hal Roach actually sold the Little Rascals to whatever studio he sold it to. I don't know if it was Warner Brothers or which studio he sold Little Rascals to at the time, but then they came out as the Little Rascals later on, and some of that stuff is kind of the things people remember more. But you do, but these you do get all the original characters, and you do get into the the alfalfa and and all that, the buckwheat and stuff towards the end. But let's move on. This is some of this stuff is still wrapped in cellophane, so it might not translate well because I haven't watched this yet. I did pick up the Ken Burns National Parks, America's Best Idea. I'm a real big fan of the Ken Burns documentaries. I did pick this up on DVD. It's not available in. It is available in Blu-ray, but the Blu-rays are going like $90 for the set, and I just didn't really want to pay for that. And more than likely, this, and I'm not positive about this, but more than likely the DVD will probably look pretty good. If it don't, I might consider in the future, if I find a good deal on it in the future. But most of the Ken Burns stuff on Blu-ray is going for pretty high prices these days. I've got the bulk of it on Blu-ray. There's some of his documentaries I haven't picked up yet, but I've got some of his most important work. All right, let's see what else we got here. I'm always picking up these Ultraman sets. This is Ultraman Neos, the complete series. There you go. Tilt it a little bit. Big fan of Ultraman. But these are like locusts. These sets are. I mean, they come out all the time. I see them. I try to buy them whenever they come out. They put out the original series. Let's see here. Yeah, these are excuse me, Mill Creek, excuse me. But Mill Creek put out like the original, about I think 7 or 8 of the series in Steelbook. You could buy it Steelbook, or you could buy the thicker, the nicer sets on Blu-ray. And then they started some of these smaller sets they would start putting out on just DVD, and some of the less popular ones. But they come out all the time. Like Ultraman's like it's like the Power Rangers. Like they've been going on since like the 70s when they first. I think Ultraman actually came out in the 60s, and they're probably still making them to the day, new ones. So I mean, they're always something new. The next couple of sets I picked up here they're also this is an MPI set, and this is what I like about Best Buy sometimes, is sometimes you'll run into like really good deals. Like I think this is like $20 or $20 or $30 for this set. I can't remember at this point, but this is the My Favorite Martian. I guess this is an older series. I apologize. Some of these are a little bit older, but My Favorite Martian, complete series, all 3 seasons. I think it's like $20, I believe. Really good deal. Really cool. And next I picked up this. This doesn't have the cellophane on it, but I haven't watched it yet. But I watched it as a kid when it was on TV. Well, as a late teenager. But this is Third Rock from the Sun, the complete series. This is a Mill Creek. It is that classic hard box with a flappy lid, which I don't understand why they do this. It's just cost effective, but but everybody that has bought these know this kind of stuff right here, these little cheap slips. I think this was another $20 set for $20 to get the complete series. It's a pretty good deal, and I always have the complete series. I don't know if it'll be a series ever put into Blu-ray or not. Who knows what gets put into Blu-ray and what doesn't. The Blu-ray sets in the Mill Creek, some of the things, there's been some stuff come out this year that I've kind of wanted to buy, like the $6 Million Man, and it was like $180 or something like that, and I think it might have dropped at one point in time a little bit, but it's just way up there. I was like, I can buy it on DVD. I've never bought it even on DVD. You can go find it on like eBay for cheap, but it's kind of one of those sets. Sometimes it's one of those sets I kind of want on Blu-ray, and I just haven't picked it up yet. But next is this is a BBC collection. This series came out around 2002. This is Foyle's War. This is the complete series. It it comes in. I guess it was like kind of like 4 series, but but these are more like they're like usually like around 90-minute. They're not technically they were made for like Sunday night movie like mystery dramas, and they needed a new slot. They had kind of come to the end with some of their other popular series at the time for us, like a Sunday night murder mystery type. And Foyle's War is really interesting. It's really interesting to me because the backdrop of it is World War II. They put it in southern. They place it in southern England just because it was more cost effective to not have to show the destruction of London. So they put it into more of a smaller area. But it's basically Foyle is a detective who goes around. He just solves cases, but you have the backdrop, and there's some, there's a lot of things that get tied into World War II and the things going on at the time. And so the series kind of starts in like 1940, and it works its way up through the end of World War II. And some of the later series goes even a little bit past the World War II, but it's a really fun little TV show. My only problem with it is only series 7 and 8. It's 8 series altogether, but the way it's packaged, there are multiple series together. My only problem with it is only 7 and 8 are available on Blu-ray. You can't buy the whole series on Blu-ray, which is a little annoying because actually the transfers are not very good. And you get like basically one episode per disc, which is like it's basically a feature film per disc. And the transfers are kind of garbage. It's kind of it's still a great show to watch, but it has some pretty good cinematography. Now you do get 16:9 aspect ratio. It's not full frame, but the transfers are just not really up to par. That's my only complaint, because I originally watched them on Acorn TV, and actually Acorn TV is who put this set out. And Acorn's just like it's kind of a weird. I guess it was like a catalog, and they sell a lot of British stuff in there, just like British tinkering stuff. I don't know, just novelty stuff, just blankets and whatnot. It's probably Chinese made British stuff, but they started like basically, I guess, a web-based channel, which you could watch on like Roku and things like that. That's where I found it. And so I subscribed to it for a while, and that's where I originally watched it. And I remember watching it in higher quality, probably at least 720, and not kind of like the 480 that's presented on these discs. So that's a little disappointing. Hopefully one of these days they will release that on Blu-ray, the whole series, and clean all of it up. I'm really looking forward to that, and I will probably rebuy it if they do that. Now, this set was really expensive on Acorn. I think it was way over $100 when it first came out, but I found it on eBay for like $40. And this, for people who are just getting into collecting, and if you go to Amazon, if you buy a lot from Amazon, if you go there and something comes up on the marketplace for an expensive price, or it seems a little bit out of place, always go to eBay, especially with TV sets, and especially TV sets that's been out a little while. Like a brand new TV set, usually you won't get a cut. You won't find a break, especially on a Blu-ray set. Every now and then you will, but if you go to eBay, you can usually find it for $20 or half the cost. You'll find it on like Amazon, either Amazon's Prime or Amazon Marketplace, because they just, I don't know, they just sell them a lot cheaper. And things like I bought like the Dukes of Hazzard box set, and I think Walmart was selling it for, I forget how much, 60 or $70 when it was kind of new. and I found it on at the same time on eBay for like $40 or maybe 50. It was like $20 cheaper. Speaking of hiccups, which I have at the moment, this is it's a series I haven't sat down and watched yet. This is called Hiccups. This is a series. This is a Canadian series by Brent Butts, which is this guy right here. No, that guy right there. No, this guy right here. No, Brent Butts. He's famous for doing a show called Corner Gas, which I also have right over here. We'll be getting into just in a second. But this is a series he made like in 2012, I believe. And actually, this woman is his actual wife in real life, but she also appears in Corner Gas. And I'm interested. This is actually 2 seasons, but only 1 season can be found on DVD. And I even switched my Amazon account over to the Canadian site to see if maybe they sold it in Canada, but they do not. So I'm interested in checking out what I have here, and if it's Brent Butts, it's usually pretty funny. Got some pretty funny stuff. He's made a couple movies here and there, and pretty cool stuff. Hang on just a second here. Let me, since I'm going to skip over, since I was talking about Corner Gas, here is Corner Gas, the complete series. This is a Canadian comedy, sitcom, I guess. And this is the full series. Really funny series. Takes place in a small town in Saskatchewan, Canada. Well, I pulled out series 2 here first. That's the first one that fell out. But you can kind of take a look at the cast there. Kind of takes place around some kind of wacky characters. Brent Budd, he's the owner of Corner Gas. The girl next to him is the owner of the diner that's connected to Corner Gas, and then his parents and kind of his best friend, and the woman, Wanda, his actual wife in real life, is a person who works in the gas station, and the 2 police officers in the town, and it's just kind of their kind of wacky goings-on in Saskatchewan, Canada. And it's a really funny series. It's really good, and it's one of those series where you kind of, once you watch the whole series, you kind of want to go back and just rewatch it again, because it's just, I don't know, some people get that kind of, I know a lot of people do that. They have like a comfort thing. Maybe they go to sleep to. It's kind of that for me. I kind of watch it before I go to bed, and it's just funny, and it's just kind of heartfelt. I don't know. It kind of grows on you. There's not too many series throughout the years I've done that too. Something like Wonder Falls did that when I was younger. I don't know. But I heard people do that. People do that with Trailer Park Boys or something. You know, it's one of those series where you can just kind of watch over and over and over. All right, we got through Corner Gas here. And this is a series that I don't remember what I was searching for. I don't know if it was like I was looking for other stuff. Oh, and Corner Gas, it actually has a and if you want to watch Corner Gas without buying a DVD, it's available on Amazon Prime. If you have an Amazon Prime Video account, you can watch all the seasons. Plus, which I'm working on right now, or there's 4 animated seasons that came out in the recent years, like the last 4 years, I believe, starting in like 18 or 19, and well, probably about around 19 or 20. And so there's more to it other than just the 5 original seasons. Brent Budd actually he ended the series at 5. I believe that's what it is. 5, or am I being stupid here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, 6. He ended after the 6th season because he didn't want it to get stale, and that's the only reason I could find, and that was like kind of a quote from him saying, I don't want the series to get old and get stale, and and which is admirable, I guess, but it seemed like the the series was still good. At the end, it was still just as funny as it was before. So I think they probably could have done a couple more seasons, and I think it would have been fine. But the next series, I guess I don't know if I was searching stuff for that or just searching out other British stuff, but this is one, it just popped up on my Amazon to-do list, or you get kind of that stuff on Amazon where it kind of suggests things to you, and I went and read about it, and the comments were like, oh, this is really funny, I was surprised it's very funny, and I found it to be very funny. This is, you may have heard of it, it's called Mr. Brown's Boys. Mrs. Brown's Boys, excuse me. It is technically Mr. Brown's Boys, but it's Mrs. Brown. It is, let me see here. What is his name? Brendan O'Carroll. He plays Mrs. Brown. He's like, it's kind of a, yeah, I mean, it's just a cross-dressing. He plays like a granny, and it's just, but it's funny. It's a really funny show. It's kind of it's to give a little background, I tend to like, for some reason, I really like Irish-made British stuff. This is BBC, but it's all Great Britain, obviously, but this is an Irish-made, and I like shows like Father Ted, and Father Ted's made by, it takes place in Ireland. It was made by like an Irish crew. I don't know if it was made in Ireland, but it was an all-Irish crew. And the guy that made Father Ted, he also made excuse me, I'm going blank here. Might have to make a cut here. And the IT Crowd, if you guys are familiar with that show, the IT Crowd, he also made that, and but he didn't have anything to do with this. But I just find the Irish humor really funny, and this is an Irish made. I think this actually was made in Ireland, but it takes place in front of a live studio audience, and this is actually just three. It was just 3 seasons, and plus it's got Christmas specials with this box set, and it takes place in front of a live studio audience, and there's a lot of fourth wall breaking in it, and like they'll actually, it's probably intentional, but they'll flub lines, and then they'll just keep shooting it, and they'll just like, oh, we screwed up, and then go back and like send the actors back to their places, and they'll rerun the lines, and it's just all that kind of stuff's happening all the time, and it's just a really funny show, and some people don't like fourth wall breaking, but the show it's just kind of supposed to be. It comes from a stage play. That's why they do a lot of that, because it was originally a stage play, and that's where I think the fourth wall breaking, because you kind of some plays you interact with the crowd, and I think that's how the stage plays were. I've actually not watched. You can buy some of the Mrs. Brown's Boys live, which they did after this series. It's not the actual original stage plays that were done, but you can go back and watch some of that stuff. But this here is something I haven't watched yet, but this is Mrs. Brown's Boys. This is the original series. Apparently they filmed an original series, and there's some of the actors are different. It's still Brendan O'Connell, so I don't know a lot about it. Some of the reviews for it, I just picked it up because I was a fan of that show, and I was trying to kind of buy as much as I could and of it, because I really enjoyed it, and I just didn't feel like there was enough of it. There only being three seasons, and just the Christmas specials didn't feel like enough, and this is supposed to be some of the original, and some of these skits are eventually make it into the newer show, that they're just more refined and with the final cast. So that's Mrs. Brown Boys original 7 DVD box set. And this is one other thing we'll kind of finish off with. This is about all I have left here. This is All Around Mrs. Brown, and this is 3 seasons. And this, I've only watched like 1 episode of season 1 so far, and it's really like the same show, except it's a little bit more of a variety show. They kind of So far, they'll get out like in town and do skits. Some of the other actors will do different skits and on the actual streets of in Ireland and things like that. And there's 3 seasons of that. But yeah, well, I guess it's kind of a variety show more than it is, and they'll have like interviews with, I guess, celebrities and things like that. It's a little bit different take, but there's still like the same cast and people kind of interact in the same way. It's still like the same set, the same house set, and everything like that. And it's just really funny. It's just a really funny show, and I highly recommend Mrs. Brown's Boys. And if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you guys do that, and leave any comments down there if you guys have any questions about anything I'm talking about. I'm just trying to blow through this stuff because I tend to bull crap a lot. And I guess check out the channel later in the week, because I'm going to do a couple more updates this week. I'm going to do a Blu-ray update, some of the Blu-ray movies I get, and then I think I'm going to do a 4K update, and all the stuff's going to be separated instead of doing one massive video, and this video is going to run long enough anyway. So yeah, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. Leave those comments. And one thing I was going to do before we get out of here, and if you guys want to, I was going to kind of, since this is Sunday night, I was going to run through what is coming up. Turn on the other monitor here, and I was going to run through what is coming up this week on DVD. Let me get everything into place here. See if, there we go. Let's go here on the Blu-rays, the new release calendar. Hopefully you guys can see some of this stuff. This is a page when we do our live streams I want to pull up, but for some reason whenever I pull up this on live stream, it crashes my computer, and I don't know exactly why it's doing that, but we'll do a little, if you guys want to, I'll run through what's coming out this week. What is this going to be here? It's going to be March 21st. Let's see here. So we got Red Eye on 4K, Inland Empire, David Lynch movie, which I'm really looking forward to getting that in Blu-ray. I don't think I've bought that in Blu-ray. I have it on DVD, but I've never bought it on Blu-ray. Megan, however you say. But Megan comes out. It's showing this Blu-ray here. You would think that movie would be on 4K. It's kind of, I've noticed there's been some movies coming out here lately that's not been on 4K. But Babylon, I'll probably pick up Babylon and Megan and Inland Empire, and definitely Rocky 4. Rocky 4 I'm waiting for. When you watch my 4K update, I'll have the Rocky series. But I'll definitely buy that. I don't know if is Babylon, there's this. I don't think it's Steelbook though. I don't know if you can see my cursor there. I don't know if this is Steelbook, because there's the 4K here, then this 4K. I don't know if this is Steelbook. I do have this Dragon Slayer pre-ordered. I do see there's a 4K. I can't remember if I would order that in 4K or just the Blu-ray. I don't know if I have that pre-ordered. It don't really matter, but I ordered, I have that pre-ordered as well. Dr. Giggles, Rocky 4, as we say. This is kind of stuff I really get into, some of these older movies like this. Sorry, Wrong Number, The Long Wait 4K. This is Barbara Stanwyck here. This is Mickey Spillane. These would be pretty cool pickups. These are probably, well, at least one of them are probably Kino Lorber. There's Star Trek Strange New Worlds I have no interest in. Crazy People, that might be Dudley Moore and Daryl Hannah. I do have Critical Condition pre-ordered. That Richard Pryor movie, that'd be a pretty good one. Looks like there's another Babylon down there. But here's Alan Ladd, Lucky Jordan. Looks like that Strange New Worlds, as I have no interest in new Star Trek or Star Wars, but new Star Trek. The Bella Star story, that seems interesting. I can't read who the star of that is. Let's see. It looks like a spaghetti western, possibly, but won't bore you with that. Never Say Die. Martha Ray, Bob Hope. It's probably a comedy. It'd probably be pretty good. The one thing I will tell you, whenever you see my collection videos, I don't collect everything new that comes out. There's a lot of stuff that's coming out, obviously. I was like, yeah, I'm going to buy this and this and this. But we got Final Exam, Thanks for the Memories, Legend of Gattaca. Not Gattaca. Gattaca, Legend of Gattaca. I guess that's how you pronounce it. Jitsu Kaisen, some anime here. Jitsu Kaisen Zero. I guess it's a season. I don't know what the difference is between these two. Which I do watch anime, but I haven't watched a lot here recently. It's nothing wrong with it. I just haven't been watching a whole lot. I tend to kind of fall back and watch old stuff I've never seen, like in the 90s and things like that. Stanleyville, I don't know much about this movie. Lullaby, Flaming Ears, Left Behind, Seriously Red. It's like a Dolly Parton movie. Yep. I don't know if that's a biopic Dolly Parton movie. It was 2022. It must be a biopic type movie. Didn't know much about that one. Jujutsu Kaisen, Sayuki Reload, I guess that's how you pronounce it. Final Examination, Kajura. Doc Martin, Season 10. I've seen a lot of Doc Martin, but I haven't seen all of it. Doc Martin's another series I watched on Acorn. A One Piece Season 12, Kill Me Baby, complete collection. Looks weird. Might be interesting. And that's about it for this week. Upcoming Blu-rays and 4Ks. So we've got some interesting stuff coming out here. So I didn't notice this that came out March 17th. I'll just look at this real quick. This is Hammer Horror Volume 1, The Evil of Frankenstein. I've got a bunch of Hammer stuff here and there, but I like these collections when they come out, so $100. So I don't know if I'll go back and buy that or not. I have a bunch of Hammer stuff. Well, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate you guys watching tonight. Hopefully you guys watched all of it. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Leave those comments. Anything you want to know about my collection. Any part of my collection you might individually want to see. Something you see back here or on the side, which you won't be able to see much on the side. But anything you see, you want to hear about, give me a shout out. I'll talk about anything you want me to. I will talk to you guys later. See ya.